So welcome back, everyone. So we will talk now on routers. As of now, you guys already know routes, right? Routers, rather. If you are trying to travel, right? You want the best route so far, the best and saved, right? Safest route. So likewise, we've already covered router, and we're just gonna go really, really fast for these slides. It says first it's like a traffic director that decides how data should travel between different networks. It connects multiple networks and forward data packets between them, ensuring they get to the correct destination. For example, if your home network has a computer, a smartphone, and a printer, a router connects these devices to the internet. When you type a website address in your browser, the router directs the data to the correct location on the internet and brings the information back to your device. And this makes sense because we already covered the concept of routers, right? And this is just exactly what we have discussed. This is the main guy router. It will take data from all these other devices for your home network, goes to the internet, and from the internet, it brings the connection back, to your house, right? So likewise, but remember, we didn't just discuss routers, firewall, because we want to do it or want to work or become network experts still in the concept of PCI DSS, right? PCI DSS is a core regulatory framework. So we cannot be talking about PCI DSS without us understanding what kind of artifacts we're going to be requesting or needing from the different stakeholders that we are working with. That's why they said in the context of PCI DSS, a router might be used to connect your internal systems handling cardholder data to external system like payment processor. Do you see? Remember last video we went through the diagram, from point of sales to it goes to the payment gateway to the processor to, maybe the issuer and back and all those things. But that was something that we covered in the previous videos. So the router ensures that only allowed traffic flows between these networks and that data doesn't flow to unauthorized system, right? And this is exactly what we've discussed. If you have your internal system, you have handling card data holder, maybe it's your database or whatever thing that you guys have. But again, you have that router that definitely segment or prevent it, separate from the external WAL and the external system, right? But some key aspect and assessor we focus on when testing routers. Do you see? Again, we are just doing this. We're still gonna go in depth to all the different controls. I promise you all, right? As I said, you gotta be a paid student to fully understand because when we go there, we're like, wow, then you can get a job and you can just do like you will do just wow. Okay. So first, what the assessor is looking for, segmentation between CDE and other networks. The router should enforce segmentation by isolating the cardholder data environment from non-sensitive networks, right? Do you see? This is to prevent unauthorized access to sensitive data, firewalls, and routers. Ensure that routers, along with firewalls, are properly segmented or segmenting and controlling traffic between different network zones. For example, we have public, we have internal, as well as a card data environment, which is very critical, where you literally have, where things are being stored, all the different devices that handle or process this information. And that's why it's important to have some of these that, have that segmentation going on. And if you look here, this is a typical example. Do you see? You have your router. There is a firewall that still separates the router from the card data environment. So if you go to that card data environment, you have all the different things that are being stored as we've mentioned. But again, you want to have the defense layers, additional layer of security just to better protect your information, right? And of course, routing rules, so we already went through some of those routing rules and we know what it is. Then we have access control and routing rules. First, what will an assessor be looking for? ACL. The router must be configured with access control list, ACL, as of now already know why, to permit or deny traffic based on the security policies, right? What you guys have documented or have on your policies. The rules should only allow necessary communication between trusted and untrusted networks. Least privilege. The router should follow the privilege or principle of least privilege by ensuring that all the traffic required for business operations, such as payment processes, can flow into the CDE. Any unnecessary traffic should be blocked, right? And that's why if we have these access controls and routing rules, I think I'm just gonna continue with the videos that we have everything. So assessor will review the router's access control to ensure that it only allows specific traffic we've discussed based on the port and protocol that you want to allow between your internal network and the CAD environment, which again, you can block other traffic that are not needed, for that particular system or your network. And if you see test number 1, control access, the assessor will review the router ACL to ensure this is exactly something that we've discussed. And you see result pass evidence shows that the router ACL will review and found to allow only HTTP and VPC. So this, are you like, again, because now that you're working in-house, you need to understand what they're going to be looking for. And that's why when they give you, realize, wow, okay, this makes sense. It passed because we are implementing exactly what we have on our security policies. And this gives us a good example of definitely all what we've been discussing so far, where you want to allow certain rule, you want to deny based on the allocation and what you are targeting. And if you look at the router ACL, you want to permit, say action, permit, deny, permit, deny. You have the different protocols, source, IP, destination, as well as comment. You can just literally put a comment to expatiate or supplement what you have implemented or put in place, right? But when I say you, doesn't mean that you'll be the one to be doing that, right? Of course, you'll be working with the technical folks to make sure those are being implemented. All right, so I'm going to put an end to this video, and the next one will take firewall and router integration. I'll see you before the next.